For teams that are on the bubble, every game must be played like it's an elimination game. After a down stretch for the Bearcats put them temporarily out of reach for the tournament, hopes, they find themselves just on the bubble. What's on the line tonight? A win to bolster the resume for a spot just up the road in Dayton. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fifth Third Arena. Colin Kunz here alongside Justin Dedrick, joining you for the call tonight. And on Cincinnati Senior Night, Justin, this is a big one.
Yeah, it is. You're honoring 4 players who've done a lot for the program. Of course, we'll get to them in a minute. But this is also a big game. If they want to leave their mark, leaving this program, their last game at Fifth Third Arena, this is one to do it. You need to win. You need to stay alive. You want to pop that bubble so you're on the right side of the bracketology come Selection Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these guys are really trying to get a statement win tonight because depending on who you look at with bracketology, some people have the Bearcats in the bubble in Dayton. Some people have them completely out and not even on the edge.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of first fours, a lot of next fours. I've seen a couple even with us in that last 4, which is kind of an interesting choice at the moment. I think there's a couple teams ahead of us that we're rooting to lose. But it really is, the fate is in our hands. You've got this game at home against Kansas State, which you need to win. And then you go on the road to play Oklahoma State, which you also need to win. You probably need 2 wins in the conference tournament as well, and a little bit of luck by some other teams losing early. But at the end of the day, win and you're in. So it should be focused on this one right now, get this win, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a win-first mentality. And you talked about some of those teams that they need to root for, root against. And 2 other teams that are playing tonight, they need to cheer for Butler and Missouri, both teams that would help them with getting wins for the bubble.
Yeah, and also any Buckeyes fans are listening, I know this is kind of a split part of the state, but we don't have to root against the Buckeyes at this point because they're ahead of the Bearcats in most bracketology, and we need them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at that first 4, a lot of the projections have a lot of local teams. You got Indiana, Ohio State, and Xavier all kind of bouncing around in that area.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really interesting first 4 in Dayton if you have if you can get 4 of those schools somehow in the first 4 in Dayton, that'd be ridiculous because you'd have a crazy turnout of locals.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel like that's almost what the committee wants because that'd be an easy sellout, and that means more money. That's my case for Cincinnati.
You get the Xavier-Indiana matchup, the Cincy-Ohio State matchup.
Oh, it would do numbers.
That's
yeah, exactly.
I'm showing up for that for sure.
So Cincinnati looking for a big win against Kansas State tonight. Kansas State not really good enough to be on the bubble, just a little bit outside, 14, I guess a little bit more than a little bit outside, 14-15 overall. Not terrible, but not really great.
Yeah, and they've had an up and down season. They really started their non-conference play really rough, got into conference play, and they went on a hot streak early in conference play. And then they've kind of dipped back down. Coleman Hawkins missed a couple games, so that hurt their lineups the past 3. But this is still a solid team. It's no joke. You can't really pass over any team in the Big 12. And this team still has a lot of talented players.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you said a Big 12, definitely a tough conference. And then Kansas State as well, not the best team on the road. A 2-9 record overall away. And that bodes well for Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're not a good road team at all. In Manhattan, Kansas, they're going to play well. But in anywhere else, they're not as threatening. And, of course, the Bearcats, their home record is 12-4. So in Fifth Third Arena, they're going to play great. It kind of does just match up well for them in this point. But, again, nothing you want to overlook. You lost to this team pretty bad earlier in the season. That was your first loss that you dropped that you really were like, we shouldn't have lost this one. This one's going to hurt later in the season. So now you get your chance at revenge.
Yeah, and there was definitely a stretch of a few of those. But Kansas State coming off of a win, I mean, they beat Colorado, which nearly everybody in the Big 12 has done.
Oh, yeah.
Before that win at Colorado, they lost 3 in a row. So not really any momentum for Kansas State besides that one win coming into this game.
Yeah, but they remember that first conference game of the season where they took this team and beat them. So they're definitely not looking to let the Bearcats get their revenge. They want to look at that bubble hopes and say, no, you're not getting in the tourney on my watch, Cincinnati.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're always competing against conference rivals and just trying to make it as competitive as possible and kind of spoil their hopes. And Kansas State probably looking to spoil their senior night as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the Bearcats, this is a quad 3 home win. And Kansas State has a chance to deny them that and give them a quad 4 loss if they were to lose this at home. So it's not one you want to lose at all. And it really, really would destroy the bubble hopes, ruin the senior night. So this is one that Cincinnati cannot afford to lose. You broke out the red jerseys. You have the red out in Fifth Third Arena. You have to go out there and seek blood, Colin. Little gruesome, but have to do
That's
it.
exactly what they need to do, and fitting for the red atmosphere here tonight. The students all with free red script Cincy's t-shirts, which I think are actually pretty slick.
I thought about taking one earlier, but I didn't.
Yes, the student section all decked out. And, you know, we talked about what a loss here would mean for Cincinnati, and like you said, kind of popping the bubble for them. But, you know, it would guarantee a ticket to the college basketball crown.
Yeah, it would. It would. This is a Bearcats team that's just been so up and down all year, and everyone's feels so pressured to make the tournament because that's where you want to be every season. They've been in the NIT. They've been at the bottom. They've been stuck in the middle. You just want to get over that hump once, and it feels so good for this team, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cincinnati, a team that really knew the March Madness tournament well, especially under Mick Cronin. I think they made 8 in a row. And then, you know, had a couple bad years, and then once Wes Miller got here, he's kind of been building things up and hasn't quite crested that hill yet, but he's real close.
I mean, you came in ranked this season. This was the year everyone thought was going to be it. You're going to be back in the tournament, a lot of returning production, and now you're here at the end of the season, and you're pretty much in the same spot where you were last year, on the bubble, going into your conference tournament with, you know, your team playing on a hot streak now after going on a mid-season dive. I mean, you're really in the same spot. You wish it would have taken a jump, but you still have that chance. You got to make the most of it.
Yeah, definitely, and it is really tough for Cincinnati trying to climb out of the pit that they dug themselves. Everybody talks about seasonal depression, and it feels like that's what Cincinnati had, especially there in January, where they just dropped conference loss after conference loss, and that really is what has put them in the position that they're in now.
It was a miserable January. I mean, there's some conference losses. They really shouldn't have lost some games that they should have been more in than they weren't, but at the end of the day, this is still a team that's 40th in net and on the bubble of the NCAA tournament, even with those lows. Like, you have that chance. It's right there within grasp. And I think, you know, you're going to get a good performance out of the seniors today. Of course, Lukosius is going to be back in the starting lineup, and I expect him to want to go off for his last game in fifth third, so that's going to help propel them for a win here, I think, tonight.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to see Lukosius firing on all cylinders. So the Bearcats will break their huddle, and they'll head out onto the floor and get ready for this senior night game. Kansas State now breaking theirs, and they'll go out and meet Cincinnati.
CMOS, because C.J. Frederick is injured, and C.J. Anthony is still in his redshirt year, so he can't play and break that redshirt, unless there's some kind of exception for that.
Yeah, it is just Bandango and Lukosius out there senior-wise. And also Mitchell, Thomas, and James. Just about ready to get things underway. Lined up at center court is Bandango for Cincinnati and David Ingusson for Kansas State.
Yeah, they're happy to have Coleman Hawkins back in the lineup. He missed the last 3 for him, and he's a dynamic player. He really tore up Cincinnati when they played earlier this season, so it's going to be a tough assignment for Aziz on senior night.
Yeah, definitely Hawkins going to be one to watch, averaging 10 a game. And there's the buzzer for the all clear, so the official will head out and get ready to get us started. Ball is up, and tip goes to K-State, and they will get things started on offense. They'll start on the floor with McDaniel. He's got it far side of the floor, taking his time looking for an option. Now gets it down to Hawkins. Hawkins far side, now back to McDaniel. McDaniel directing traffic. Still has it, taking the right side of the arc. Now pass it out to the corner. Driving inside is Jones, well defended by Lukosius. Back up top to McDaniel, loses the ball, gets it back. Now driving inside, steps back, jumper. No good, off the rim. Lukosius on the rebound for the Bearcats.
That's a great opening defensive possession. You gave them no space at all and forced them into a tough late shot clock shot.
Cincinnati now will get their first offensive possession started. Day-Day Thomas has it for the Bearcats. Now pass it up top. Bearcats working it around. Now nice pass to Mitchell. Mitchell inside in the lane, puts one up. No good, off the front of the rim. And that's Hawkins on the rebound.
Yeah, I thought Mitchell could have kept going on that one after the first dribble. He kind of spun around and went for the hook instead and lost his momentum.
Hawkins got it at the elbow. Now taking that right side, trying to work on Mitchell. Now gets it back up top to Jones. Jones driving inside. Now passes down. Wide open look for Ingusson. That is the first points of the game.
That was a really nice move. Really nice pass by Jones. Just got both Bandango and Thomas in the air left Gasson wide open.
Cincinnati will look to fire back. Jizzle James has it for the Bearcats. Now he passed it over to Thomas. Thomas near the K-State bench, now gets it over to Bandego. Bandego will take it back up top. Nice defense by K-State. Now gets it over to Lukosius. 5 on the shot clock. Mitchell has it. Finds Bandego inside, but passes off the mark and intercepted by K-State. We'll have call on the floor, and it'll go Cincinnati's way. Over and back.
I think they called him out on a carry.
Ah.
It's kind of an interesting call. Just on the way down the floor, you get called for a carry. You don't see that happen very much nowadays.
Yeah, I was shocked by that one. Cincinnati back on the offense after the turnover from K-State. Bearcats have it, still going to get points on the board. Pull-up jumper from Thomas, it's good. Silky smooth through.
I mean, that's just his bread and butter. When he rises up from the mid-range, there's a very good shot. It's going to go in, and Dede, he makes him punish every time they give him space there.
All tied up even at 2 here. Hawkins has it, he gets it to Jones. Now back up top to Hawson. Now they get it back to McDaniel, taking the right side, now finding inside Ngusson. Ngusson trying to work on Bandego, 4 on the shot clock, get it back up top, pull-up jumper, no good, way off the mark. That's an air ball from Max Jones.
I'm surprised they didn't call it as tipped. I thought Seamoss might have gotten a finger on that one.
Cats get the ball back, still tied up. Cincinnati looking to take a lead. James has it, just past the logo. Nice movement there, couldn't do anything with it though. Now gets it across the floor. Thomas has it, driving inside, looking for a look. 3 defenders are there. Now Lukosius for 3, no good, rattles in and out. K-State on the rebound.
I like the look. He's a three-point shooter. You gave him space in the corner. Not typically where he shoots it from, but you don't mind those opportunities.
On the other side of the floor, easy lay-in for the Wildcats. That'll take a 2-point lead. Bearcats back on the other side of the floor. James driving inside all the way to the basket. Now kick out to Thomas. Thomas goes for 3, no good. Off the front of the rim, and Hawson was able to get the rebound for the Wildcats. Now they'll go the other way on offense. Jones has it in the corner. Now they'll work it back out. Opposite corner, McDaniel has it. McDaniel at the elbow. Now gets it to Hawkins. Hawkins driving. Gets it up top. Now over from the elbow. 3-point shot, no good. Lukosius fighting for the rebound, but Jones able to save it for K-State. Now intercepted by Mitchell. Pass across the court. Now the Bearcats have it. Jizzle James pull-up jumper. No good, too strong. Bandego tip out. Gets to Lukosius. James again with the ball, trying to drive inside, find some movement, lays one in. Once again, we're all tied.
He got the mismatch on the slower Gasson, just put the double cross, got the lane to the basket, and a great finish.
Hawkins, top of the key, directing traffic. Mitchell closely guarding. Hawkins looking for something. Very good defense by Mitchell. Hawkins can't get anything. He'll pass out to Ngusson. Ngusson trying to work on Bandego. Now he'll kick it out to Jones, who goes for 3. No good. Ngusson on the rebound. Now out to Hawkins. Thought about the 3. Didn't take it. Now over at the elbow, Jones has K-State again on the rebound. Now back out to Hawson again for 3. Still no good. Finally, Mitchell grabs the rebound for Cincinnati.
I mean, 5 minutes in and there's 8 total points. Neither team can buy a bucket right now, and the Bearcats can't buy a rebound.
Lukosius had a wide open look for a second. Now Thomas does. It's good for 3.
Ever since Dede Thomas has found his way in the starting lineup, he has played incredible. He's been one of the best players on the team. He's the leading scorer of the game with 5 right now.
Bearcats take their first lead of the game. Now K-State looking to fire back. Hawkins has it at the corner. Trying to find some room past Mitchell. Dribbling between the legs, taking the left side. Trying to get to the rim. Ball goes out of bounds. And we will have a timeout. So not a lot of points here early. Bearcats do take a 7-4 lead here at the stop. Back here inside Fifth Third Arena, Cincinnati Bearcats taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. And so far, not much offense to look at.
Yeah, I mean, 7-4. Kansas State shooting 25% from the field. They're 0 of 5 from 3. I mean, and they have 3 offensive rebounds. They're getting chances. They're just not converting. And the Bearcats, I mean, 43% from the field is fine, but you would like a couple more points than 7 when you're sitting, 5.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, definitely. And you said Kansas State not converting, and we just talked about that during the break. But Housen, I mean, not to call him out, but missing, 3 threes in a row, not boding well for the Wildcats.
I mean, we can call him out. That's our job. He's got to make those shots. He's a good three-point shooter. He's shooting 40% from 3 on the year. You got to convert those.
So out of the break here, Cincinnati will have the ball, and they'll bring things up the floor with Dedrick Thomas. Looking to get some more offense going. Lukosius has it. Now gets it down to Reed. Reed trying to find a look, spinning around, trying to back down. Can't find anything. Well defended by the Wildcats. Gets it up top to Lukosius. 10 on the shot clock. He loses the ball, but gets fouled in the process.
That's the first foul of the game. I didn't even realize. 6 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, it has been a pretty clean game so far. That one, though, definitely very obvious. And Lukosius did just have it there at the top of the key, so no shots here. Lukosius looking to inbound. Gets it up to Bandego. Fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Bearcats. Gets to Thomas. Thomas over to Reed. Now in the corner, Lukosius driving inside. Kicks it out to Bandego from the free throw line. Loses the ball. Tries to save it, but just palms it out of bounds. Reed might have had a shot at it, but just too aggressive out of bounds from Bandego.
The offense just doesn't look in sync right now. You have the movement there. Just looks like everyone's a little hesitant to take the shot.
So Wildcats will look to inbound. Betsy does check into the game for Cincinnati. Lukosius will check out. So Wildcats will bring it up the floor with McDaniel. He gets it over to Ngussin. Now over to Jones. Jones trying to work on Skillings. He passed it back out to McDaniel. McDaniel at the logo. Now taking the left side, now crosses back right. 10 on the shot clock, gets it across the floor to Castillo. Castillo well defended by Betsy. Now McDaniel has it again, 1 on the shot clock, gonna have to take a shot, pulls a 3, it's good. Nice shot at the buzzer for McDaniel.
Yeah, I mean, Doug McDaniel's a really good player. He's only shooting 26% from 3 this season, but he has the range, and he's shown it off, especially that first game against the Bearcats this season. He did show off the range, and that hurt him.
Cincinnati working their offense now. Thomas has it at the elbow, trying to work, pull-up jumper. It's good. Dedrick Thomas says McDaniel's too little as he's going the other way.
All the way down the court, right in front of their bench. He's too small. You got to switch the matchup.
So both teams here trading possessions back and forth. Wildcats again have it. Castillo up top. Now gets to Onyeso. Now back to McDaniel with a lot of speed. He pulls a 3, way too strong. Skillings able to pull in the rebound. He'll bring the ball up the floor for Cincinnati. Skillings crosses midcourt. Now gets it up to Bandego. Bandego looking to get it to somebody. Finds Skillings, dangerous pass. Skillings just lofts one up quickly. Off balance, misguided shot. K-State will get the possession back. Castillo trying to make a move, driving inside. Skillings knocking the ball away at the end. Nice defensive play for Dan Skillings and the Bearcats.
Yeah, that was a good tandem play by both Skillings and Betsy. Betsy had him kind of walled off to the basket and forced him to go more baseline, and Skillings was able to just get his hand in there and poke it loose.
Hawkins will check back in the game for K-State, as well as C.J. Jones. Checking out is Max Jones and David Ngussin. Bearcats inbound with Betsy. He gets it in to James. James will bring it up the floor. He'll cross the timeline. Taking things slow here. He'll take his left side, dribble into the basket. Well defended by the Wildcats. Passes it out to Reed. Reed between his legs. Now takes it up top. Gets it back over to James. James trying to use some movement here. Can't find anything. Puts one up. Bounces off the back iron. No good. Unlucky bounce. Goes into the hands of Hawkins. Now quickly the other way. McDaniel went coast to coast. Looks like Skillings might have gotten a hand on it. Didn't fall. Bearcats got the rebound. Now they're back on the offensive side. Betsy in the corner. Castillo defending. Now Skilling's up top. Gets it over to James. James looking for a lane, can't find anything. Now Betsy, he gets it inside to Mitchell. Mitchell thought about pulling it, decided not to. Spinning around, trying to find a look. Puts one up, it's good, falls through.
There we go for Dylan Mitchell, gets started. He's had 13 double-digit scoring games. He's been one of the most consistent players, so it's nice to see him get an early bucket here.
Daniel has it for the Wildcats. Now Skilling's on the interception, going the other way. K-State's there, but he'll take it up anyway. Shot doesn't fall, no foul comes. So Bearcats won't walk away with any points, and the Wildcats will get the ball back.
Yeah, just not a good sequence of events for Skillings out there right now.
Jones has it, far side of the floor. Now driving inside, a lot of speed, shot way off the mark. Falls down afterwards, no foul. Josh Reed on the rebound.
If you're a betting man, I hope you took the under.
Skilling's at the corner. Yeah, not much offense at all. So James up top. Now back over to Skillings at the elbow. Skillings thought about driving inside. Now gets it back up top to James. James will pull one from deep. No good. He was way back there. Came up short.
Just too much standing around that possession. Nobody really moved. It was two-man between Skillings and James along the perimeter, and Jizzle just had to force up a tough three.
Hawkins inside, trying to work on Betsy, puts one up, no good, rattles in and out, fight for the rebound. Mitchell was able to come down with it and get it out to Skillings. Skillings now going quickly the other way, spin move, puts it up, rattles in, it's good.
There's one fall for Skillings, 1 of 3 on the day. That puts the Bearcats to a 6-0 run now.
Wildcats looking to put an end to that. McDaniel has it. James defending. Wildcats taking their time. Just moving the ball up top by the logo. McDaniel's got it back. Now nice dribble between the legs. Great footwork there. Now a 3 will come, but it's no good. It came up short for C.J. Jones.
Yeah, they're one of their last 10 and haven't scored in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds. It's been rough for them.
Now James, nice pass, no look to Mitchell. Puts it up. He got fouled. Looks like we will have a timeout on the floor. So the Bearcats with a 13-7 lead. We'll take a quick break and join you back. Back here inside Fifth Third Arena, bubble watch time for the Bearcats taking on the K-State Wildcats. So far playing well despite offensive struggles for both teams. Now Dylan Mitchell at the line to start us off here out of the media timeout. Mitchell misses his first, 42% on the season at the line. We'll have one more on the way. Second one no good as well. Both missed the same way off the front. Cincinnati will walk away with no points. Wildcats get the ball back. They'll get their offense rolling. Austin has it. He gets it over to Jones. Jones directing traffic. Now Jones will take it himself inside. 3 Bearcats are there. Now gets it out to Hawkins. Hawkins over to Jones. Jones spinning around. Now back out to Hawkins up top. Step back. Jumper. No good. Too strong. And that is Thomas on the rebound.
It's not every day you see a center who's 6'10" do a step back 3. It's something to watch Coleman Hawkins play.
And Page backing down, spinning around and putting one through. Nice play there.
It's nice to see Page back out there. He hasn't played more than 6 minutes since January 28th. That's 2 months ago, guys. He's finally getting back out there after nursing that injury and getting some buckets.
Wildcats on the other side of the floor, and Gusson has it inside the lane. Well defended by Page. Gets it out to Jones, trying to work on Lukosius. Spin around, jumps, puts it up from the free throw line. It's good. Bearcats now on the other side of the floor. James has it, decides to just pull one himself. No good. Kicks out in favor of the Wildcats. Now going the other way, and a wild ball. Looks like that one was knocked away. James is able to get it. He gets it to Page. And back up top to James. Gets it over to Thomas. Now to Lukosius in the corner. Thomas up top, dribbles between the legs, steps back, pulls a jumper. No good. Again, too strong.
That was a good move and a decent look. You had the mismatch, just Thomas shot it a little bit too hard.
And Hawkins threw what looked like to be a lob pass, but Gusson wasn't ready for it. And so the ball just goes out of bounds.
It's just not really the play you're looking for right there. It's 15-9. Try to slow it down and get some what might be easier buckets.
Yeah, definitely looking for easier buckets. I mean, K-State really hasn't gotten anything going.
Oh, they've had absolutely nothing. They're 4 of 16, 1 of 9 from 3, 4 turnovers in the last 6 minutes, and that's 7 total. So they're really not taking care of the ball. They're not hitting their shots. They're not making the most of their opportunities. I just haven't really liked the product they've put out there on offense.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't been the best thing we've seen. And Cincinnati obviously looking a little bit better, but obviously not their best basketball either.
Their threes aren't falling, and you know, you only shot the 2 from the free throw line, but you'd like for Mitchell to at least make one of those shots. But I think you're 7 of 17 from the field, but 1 for 6 from 3. If those threes just start falling, you're in a solid spot. You're not too mad at where you're at right now.
Yeah, definitely not. And the threes don't even seem forced. They're good shots. They're really just not falling.
And that happens sometimes. You just start the game out with a lid on the bucket. And you got to take that lid off, make some easier ones, build the confidence, and the threes will start falling when you get later into this game. But you don't want to get too late. You don't want to wait too long and let Kansas State start to get hot.
Yeah, definitely. You got to rev things up, and as the saying goes, you just got to see one go through the hoop. And literally in this situation, Cincinnati got to see a 3 go through the hoop.
I mean, yeah, Thomas hit the 1. Lukosius is 0 for 1. James is 0 for 2. I think maybe you try to draw up another play for Seamas. They like that double action screen where he comes off the screen of the baseline, catches the handoff, and takes that shot on either wing. I would look for maybe to draw that up next offensive possession. Get him a 3, get him a shot. It's senior night for him, might have that extra juice.
Yeah, Lukosius definitely still looking to get involved. Still has 0 on the scoreboard. 1 rebound, 3 assists. So really not having quite the game he's probably wanting on his senior night, but still a lot of time left.
It's been a rough season for him recently. He only scored double-digit points once in the month of February. His last game against Houston, he had 9, shot 3 of 10 from the field. So it just hasn't been the month. It hasn't been the season for Lukosius. So you'd like for him to kind of make the most of it tonight. But, yeah, he just hasn't gotten the looks or the opportunities yet so far. Only 8 minutes played.
Yeah, and that's really tough with how good of a first half of the season he had and how high his upside was. hasn't really lived up to that mark here in the second half of the season, but still has been a decent, reliable player for the Bearcats.
I mean, there's a point he was shooting 50% from three earlier this season, and now he's down to just 35% from three, which is still serviceable. It's very good in the realm of college basketball, but you know, he was at once regarded as one of the best in the country, and now the shots just haven't been falling as of recent. So you have this shot, you have that extra motivation. It's your last home game here potentially. Try to go out there, get him an open look, scheme it for him, and just let it fly.
Speaking of Lukosius, he will be the one to inbound. Just waiting for the go-ahead here from the officials to get things back in action. Looks like they're mopping up a wet spot over on the floor. Now things are all good. Lukosius will inbound it to James. And now we're back here at Third Arena. James brings up the floor, takes a big burst of speed to the right side, all the way to the cup, and it rolls in.
There's a good one to get James going. Both of his both of his buckets have been kind of drive layups, so he just uses his burst of speed to get that space. Might see him go to it a little bit more often.
Bearcats extend their lead up to 8, 17-9 in favor of Cincinnati. Wildcats looking to fire back on the other side. Jones with a lot of speed trying to work on Lukosius. See a foul is called. That one is marked on Lukosius. First on Cincinnati for the game. Wildcats look to inbound. We'll get it into Hostin. Now they get it over to Jones. Jones over to Hawkins, 15 on the shot clock. Reed trying to defend. Knocks the ball away from Hawkins. Hawkins now backing down, now passed it out. Inside of the paint, puts one up, no good. Bearcats on the rebound. Will work the other way. And the foul is called again. This time called on K-State.
Yeah, they caught Housen for that one as Thomas was crossing half court. Housen just grabbed him to kind of stop the fast break.
Bearcats inbound to Thomas. He's got it at the logo, and Gustin was able to take it away. Foul is called on Cincinnati. Will stay in favor of the Wildcats. Nice defensive play there by David Gustin.
That's just not a place that you want to foul. I mean, you have both Dede and Jizzle back there. He's not going to go 2-on-1 against them. You can, you know, slow it down, let them get into their full possession, and have nobody pick up a foul.
Crowd did not like that call. Now K-State gets it in. Housen has it. Now going the other direction is Jones. Now they'll reverse it one more time with Jones. Reversing it back to McDaniel. They like wrapping that arc. McDaniel pulls one up from the free throw line. It falls through.
And McDaniel up to 7 points. He had 17 earlier in the season against Cincinnati, so he could be on track for a similar game.
Bearcats still looking to get revved up. K-State trying to fight back here. James has it, gets to Lukosius at the elbow. Trying to find some room inside, 8 on the shot clock. Backing down, Lukosius spins around, puts one up, falls through off the glass.
Not the typical place you see Lukosius doing his dirty work, but getting down there on the block, spinning with the one hand off the glass, it's a sweet move.
Wildcats on the other side. Max Jones has it. Lukosius will defend. Now he gets it to C.J. Jones. Now over to Hostin, going the other way, and McDaniel. Far side of the floor, near the logo. McDaniel driving inside. A lot of speed. Lost one up. Too strong. Off the window. No good. Wildcats on the rebound. Now they'll pull one with Jones. That one falls through for 3.
They weren't going to miss forever. You can't keep giving them opportunities from beyond the arc.
Bearcats lead down to 5, 19-14, still in favor of Cincinnati. 5 minutes left to go, and now turnover and a crazy foul on Dede Thomas. He jumped up and just threw his hand towards the back of Jones there.
I'm not entirely sure what Dede was doing. It was kind of funny to watch in real time.
Yeah, definitely a comical play, and Thomas will go take a seat on the bench. Thomas up to 2 fouls. Yeah, definitely just a wild play. So Wildcats will inbound. They'll get it in to McDaniel. Calling for a play. Daniel's got it up top. James will defend. He'll get it to Hausen. Now to Jones. Now back to McDaniel at the logo. Now back up top. Hausen has it. Skilling's defending. Now we'll get it back to McDaniel, trying to look for a drive inside. Can't find anything. Well defended by James. Now he'll get it across the court to Jones. Jones will pull for three. No good, too strong. Jones gets his own rebound off the bounce. Now McDaniels will possess again. Defended by Reed. Bandango comes over to help. And ball is knocked away out of bounds off of Bandango.
Cincinnati really has to lock down the defensive rebounds. They've given up 5 offensive rebounds to Kansas State. And although they're still leading by 5, you cannot afford to give them extra opportunities. You see Mitchell walking to check in now. That'll help.
Wildcats inbound, and Ingusson just takes it right past Skillings. Finds an easy lay-in. And the lead down to 3 for Cincinnati. James has it, looking for something. Gets it up top to Bandango. Now far side to Skillings, the 5th-3rd logo. Now Lukosius, opposite side, takes a 3. No good. And Ingusson on the rebound for Kansas State. Ingusson working quickly the other way. Now kicks out to Jones. Jones over to McDaniel, now to Hausen, now to Jones in the corner. Now back up to McDaniel up top, working on Bandango. Dribbling between the legs, nice movement. Now gets it down low to Ingusson. Spinning around, finds Hausen. Now kick out to Jones, he'll go for 3. No good. Tip out. Bearcats able to get on top of it with James. Will go the other way. Skillings has it in the paint. Now gets it over to Reed. Reed will go for 3. No good. Off the back iron. Skillings on the rebound. Trying to put one up. Pass it out to Reed, and a foul is called. We'll have a timeout on the floor as well. So Bearcats lead cut down to 3. We'll join you back after the timeout. Back here inside of Fifth Third Arena, Cincinnati Bearcats taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. Bearcats, not much scoring as of recently. Wildcats, a lot of scoring recently. They've cut the lead down to 3 for Cincinnati. And definitely nipping at the heels here. Bearcats looking to get some offense going out of the immediate stop, and they find Skillings under the basket. He's immediately able to put one in.
Yeah, and there's one for Skillings. He had a rough game against Houston. 3 points, 3 turnovers. So he's getting back in there, already 4 points today. A little bit better of a game for him so far.
McDaniel will possess for the Wildcats. Has at the top the key. Gets it out to the corner to Jones. Jones trying to work on Skillings. Gets it out to Hawkins. Hawkins will go for 3. It's good. Gets that one over Mitchell.
Yeah, you don't want to give Coleman Hawkins space. He's 6'10", but he can shoot the ball. He's a good scorer. You cannot give him that much space. He's got to operate, and if you close out, he's going to make a good pass.
So lead now back down 3. Bearcats trying to get something. Ball knocked away. James was able to go out and recover, though. Gets it over to Reed now. Reed spinning around. Now gets it up to Betsy. Betsy thought about pulling it, decided not to. Now he will pull one. That's a long 2. No good. Shot clock was at the end. Now Hawkins gets the rebound for the Wildcats.
Betsy probably should have just taken the 3 there instead of going for the long 2.
Cats driving inside, spin around jumper, no good. Mitchell able to get the rebound. Bearcats will go the other way. James taking it all the way to the basket. Reverse lay-in, no good. Fight for the rebound. Jones comes up with it. Wildcats moving quickly the other way. Play disrupted by James. Ball was knocked out, but it will go in favor of Kansas State.
And Kansas State bringing Housen back in. 3-pointer gives them the lead, so that's probably what they're going to draw up right now and try to take the lead, take the energy out of the crowd.
Definitely not what Cincinnati wants, especially after having as high of a lead as 8. Really just kind of falling apart down the stretch here. Wildcats will inbound. They'll have a chance to take the lead. They get it up to Hawkins up top. Mitchell will defend. Hawkins taking his right side, going to the basket. Skillings was trying to lob to Bandego. Lob puts one up, or Bandego puts one up and misses the dunk, but does get fouled.
Free throws are probably the biggest part of his game that he improved from last season to this season. He's really worked on it, and he's become one of the more reliable free throw shooters on the squad.
Bandego 64% on the season, makes his first one. And kind of an interesting shot, but clean all the way through.
Hey, if it works for him, it works for him. I wouldn't want to change it. If he's made the work, he's put in the effort. His free throws have gotten better, so I wouldn't want to change it for him at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. If it works, it works. The second one good as well. So Bandego converts at the line, 21 in favor of Cincinnati. Hawson has it, and Skillings was trying to jump in there, but went flying across the court. Now Skillings trying to get back to his defensive assignment. Hawson puts one up. Second chance points were no good for Ngusson. Bearcats able to get the rebound. We'll go the other way. James has it. Gets it over to Mitchell. Now Mitchell to Skillings. Skillings trying to work on Housen. Skillings passed it over to Mitchell. Mitchell now out to the corner. 3-point shot, no good off the back iron. Came from Reed, but was no good. Bandego bounced it up in the air, and Housen was able to get it, take it the other side of the floor. Faked out Mitchell and drew a foul. And Cincinnati fans very upset with the call. Showing the replay, looked like Mitchell just knocked the ball away. All ball.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that call there.
Officials clearly saw it differently, and Hawson will take a trip to the line for the Wildcats. First one is good. One more here will tie things up. Second shot from Housen. That one's no good. Cincinnati crowd able to get into his head. Makes one, misses one. Now Skillings going the other way and going over the top of Jones, who is furious right now.
I'm not sure in that spot I would have even called a foul, because Jones fell down on his own and Skillings then tripped over him.
Yeah, Jones just kind of lost his footing, and Skillings was going that way anyway. So there wasn't much really either player could do about it. So the foul was called on Jones, so the Bearcats will look to inbound. The coach is looking to do so. He'll direct, now gets it into Skillings under the basket, puts one in. Bearcats able to capitalize.
Skillings 6 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 3 boards. It's been a solid all-around game for him.
McDaniel get things started for the Wildcats, and he will take a quick timeout. So Wildcats will take a timeout and draw things up for what will most likely be the final possession of the half. And with 23.2 seconds left to go, out of the timeout here. Final 23.2 seconds left in the half here on the way. Wildcats will most likely look to just end out the half here and look to get a shot. 3-point shot will tie it. That can get some good momentum going into the second half for the Wildcats. And Gustin has it, gets to McDaniels. Up at the top, now over to Hawson. 10 seconds left on the clock. McDaniels driving, gets it over to Gustin, and Gustin takes it inside, puts one up and blocked by Mitchell. Nothing is called, and that will end out our half here. And a nice statement for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, you really let things go towards the end of that half, but you get that last possession, an opportunity to make a defensive stand, and Mitchell does just that. Rises up, swats him away.
That's exactly what you're looking for if you're Cincinnati, and they'll take the 25 to 22 point lead into the locker room. And we'll join you back for the second half of action.
Back in Fifth Third Arena, about 1 minute and 45 seconds left in halftime. Both teams out on the court here in Cincinnati senior night as they lead the Kansas State Wildcats 25-22. Justin DJ Colin Kunz here on the call. Colin, it was an up and down first half and not a lot of offense. Walk us through a little bit of what you saw on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, offensive struggles was the name of the game. And we saw both teams struggle very early. I mean, 6 minutes into the game, I think we had 4 or maybe 8 points combined. And it really didn't get much better from there. Cincinnati, they got out to a little bit of a lead. They had an 8-point lead at one point, but then kind of let K-State get back into the game. Cincinnati had a couple possessions where they just missed a shot, and K-State was able to capitalize on the other end of the floor, and now they're very much back into this game.
Yeah, only down by 3. That last possession was a block by Dylan Mitchell, which let the Bearcats keep that 3-point lead going into half. Of course, senior night tonight, celebrating Simas Lukosius, Aziz Bandego, CJ Anthony, and CJ Frederick, as well as team managers, band members, cheerleaders, a lot of people to celebrate as well. And courting out there, had to give him the quick shout out. Under 30 now before halftime. Bearcats were led in scoring by Dede Thomas, and that first was 7 on the Kansas State side. It was Doug McDaniel, both point guards out there running with 7. Cincinnati losing the rebounding battle and losing pretty bad on the offensive rebounds, 20-16, and then 6 offensive rebounds to the Bearcats 2, something they're going to want to work on and fix in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's take a look at the two seniors. You know, guys that are trying to have big games tonight. Lukosius and Bandego really haven't had the best of nights. Bandego hasn't even attempted up here in this second half. Guys that are going to look to get going and maybe can spark that offense.
Yeah, you'd like to see them get a couple more shot attempts up, a couple more points on the board, just make this senior night look a little better and help contribute to the win. Both teams walking out here to start this second half, and it will be Cincinnati Bearcats basketball as James gets it into Dede Thomas, and we'll get things going in the second half. Just under 20 to play left in this one. James has it for the Bearcats. Off of the double screen, gives to Dede Thomas. Now Bandego on the wing. Back up Reed, guarded by Housen tightly. Reed off the screen, flashes to Mitchell, and he traveled going for the 3, shuffled his feet on the step in.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those times when you can't really make up your mind on what you want to do, if you want to take that 3 or you want to drive, and that time just kind of moved his feet a little too much.
So the Bearcats come empty on their first possession, and now the Wildcats get an opportunity. Coleman Hawkins on the near side corner, swing pass over to McDaniel up top. Their leading scorer was 7. McDaniel down low to Gasson, now back out Housen. 9 on the shot clock. Hawkins on the wing, into the corner. Now Max Jones for 3. Rims out, rebound Jizzle James.
And K-State really hasn't been able to find that look all night. And they've been taking the 3s, they really just can't fall.
James on the wing, guarded tightly by McDaniel. Now gets inside, there's a lob to Bandego who just misses. James comes up with the loose rebound. Guarded by Hawkins, gets trapped in the baseline, has to retreat out to Thomas. Thomas, using his speed, puts up the floater, just can't get it to go. Another offensive board. This time Reed steps into a 3. That's off the mark. Bandego slams it in with one hand off the rebound.
That's exactly what you want from Aziz Bandego. He just kind of sits there, and he was ready for that Reed 3 in case it didn't go in.
Gasson quickly on the other end, sidesteps Reed for the basket. 27-24, Cincinnati has it. It's Dylan Mitchell on the baseline, guarded by Hawkins, backing him down in the paint. Kicks out to Reed, who lost it for a second, now has it back. Reed getting past Housen, stops in the paint, spin jumper, had that one knocked away. Kansas State on the break. Gasson throws it back out to Hawkins. No look pass, Housen in the corner. Can't finish the 3. Still 27-24. Under 18 now left in this one. Thomas doubled up top, gives down low. Bandego, nobody's on him, in a wide open flush.
And there we go, we just talked about it. Those two seniors getting active, and Bandego already doing so here in the second half.
Up to a 5-point lead now for the Bearcats. Wes Miller trying to get his guys energized out there on the defensive end. Hawkins nearly thought about the three. Instead, he's tightly pursued by Mitchell. Off the screen, gives to the rolling Gasson, who fends off Bandego and is fouled.
Yeah, Bandego there was just trying to get in his way down low. Looks like kind of got a little too aggressive on him.
It's going to be the first foul on Bandego. Gasson will get 2 opportunities at the line. Hasn't shot a free throw yet today. 6 points, 3 of 5 from the field, along with 7 rebounds. On double-double watch for him. First shot is up and rattles in for Gasson. Make it up to 7 points now, tied with Thomas and McDaniel as the game-leading scorer. He's Kansas State's leading scorer in the year, about 13 points per game. Had 21 and 8 versus Colorado as he rattles in the second one as well. Back down to a 3-point lead for the Bearcats as Thomas gets things going. Trying to shift off of Jones. Now over to James on the wing. Trapped going baseline, has to give to Bandego. That's swinging all the way to the other side. Mitchell backing down Hawkins. One-on-one in the paint. Spin jumper just off the mark. Rebound to Hausen.
And that's tough if you're Mitchell. You're going against one of the best players on the Wildcats side. I mean, he really got a nice shot up there, just a little too strong.
Max Jones driving baseline. Bounces it down low to Gasson. He retreats it back out. Doug McDaniel deep on the 5th-3rd logo. Gets the match on Reed. Crosses him up. Scoop with the left hand. Loose ball goes to the Bearcats. The Wildcats bench thought Reed was out of bounds. Working quickly, Mitchell on the other end misses the first layup attempt and is fouled on the second.
Reed with a great pass there to Mitchell. Mitchell just couldn't complete the basket, but got fouled. So have a chance for some points anyway.
Mitchell's first trip to the line didn't go as he would hope. 0 for 2. He'll look to remedy that and knock down both of them at this trip. And first one bounces off the back iron twice, but can't find the bottom of the net.
That one really took its time up there. I thought it was going to fall through.
Just 2 of 5 from free throw line as a team now. Mitchell with his chance for the second. And he can't make that one either. 0 of 4 from the line for Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell just really some struggles at the line tonight. It's unfortunate for Cincinnati.
Hawkins running the offense on the Wildcats side. Now Jones in the corner, drives, kicks out to Hawkins. No look pass, that one was picked off by Day Thomas. Thomas in the fast break, and he's fouled by Max Jones, a clear call.
Yeah, very clear there. Thomas went down to the floor.
Second foul on Max Jones, second for the Wildcats as a team as Lukosius will check back in for Cincinnati. Of course, rocking the red jerseys. They haven't pulled them out yet this season. This is the only time. They were debuted last season against Texas and then worn again for last year's senior night.
Yeah, the red jerseys are really clean. One of my favorites, I think.
Kansas State in the all-white. Lukosius inbounds down low to Bandego, working on Hawkins, fights him off and puts it off the glass.
Bandego with a ton of great patience there. He really just found his window, was able to sneak one up past Hawkins.
31-26, 15:50 left in the second half. Coleman Hawkins on the wing, guarded by Josh Reed. Backing down, couple dribbles, spinning, gets Reed in the air and finishes over him. A nice move.
Yeah, Hawkins there just a little bit too much big body for Josh Reed and was able to just use that muscle to back him down.
Back down to a 3-point lead as it's seemingly been all for the second half. James, guarded by C.J. Jones now on the wing, putting on the moves. Now retreats back out. Draws Gasson, pushes off a little bit, no call. Thomas spots up for a deep three, and he buries it. Day Thomas with the range.
There you go, Cincinnati finally getting one of those three-point shots to fall. That's their second of the game, but maybe it can get something rolling.
15 now left in the second half. 15 on the shot clock for Kansas State. They're trailing by 6. Max Jones drives, gives to Gasson. He rolls, facing off Seamoss, and now just throws it over the head of Hawkins and out of bounds. Frustration by Coleman Hawkins after that one, and a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, definitely just kind of getting in his own head there, and passed way wild and went to the way other side of the floor to the Cincinnati bench almost.
Cincinnati leads 34-28 here in the second half. 14:47 left in this one. We'll be back after a short break on Bearcats Media. Back after the timeout in Fifth Third Arena. It's 34-28, Cincinnati with the lead. They will have the basketball on their side of the floor. Thomas will inbound to Skillings. Now back to Thomas, and he'll set things up. 15 on the shot clock as it was not out of bounds. Now over to Lukosius, coming off the screen. Back to Reed. Step back on Hawkins, and almost missed everything, just the side of the rim. Bandego for the offensive board, missed into the hands of Skillings, and then he was fouled.
Yeah, and Reed really can't get anything going at all tonight, but Bandego was there. He was ready to slam another one down. Couldn't quite finish the play.
You know he wanted it. Might have another opportunity to make up for it at the free throw line. He went 2 for 2 at his trip earlier in the game. 64% from the season. First one is up and in for Bandego. Up to 9 points and 4 rebounds for the senior.
Bandego starting to put together a little bit of a game here.
Bandego's second one just rims out. That'll be a lane violation on the Bearcats, so it's called off anyways.
And again, Reed. A little bit of a few miscues tonight.
Now the Bearcats putting on just a light press. Gonna throw Kansas State off their game a little bit. Doesn't work. They cross half court with ease. McDaniel, guarded by Thomas, gets it on the elbow. Coleman Hawkins. Guarded by Reed. He's had the Hawkins assignment all night. A tough one off the glass, can't roll in for him. Rebound Bandego. Thomas pushing the pace, dribbles it off his foot, and it's going to roll out of bounds.
I think I've seen Thomas do that a couple of times this season where the ball just kind of bounces off of his foot and goes out of bounds. Kind of especially prone to happen there when you're moving quick like that.
7-point lead for the Bearcats, under 14 left in this one. McDaniel guarded tightly up top by Thomas, forcing him way up towards the half-court line. Now takes a screen and gives to Coleman Hawkins. Cross-court on the other side, it's Gasson, now Jones off the handoff and hits the mid-range jumper with ease. Back to a 5-point lead for the Bearcats. Dede Thomas takes a screen from Bandego, moving to his right, spin around jumper, just off the side rim, can't get it to fall.
And Thomas has been so close on so many of those tonight. I mean, he'd really have a heck of a game if he could get those to fall.
Coleman Hawkins still leading the charge, gives to a cutting Gasson, who finishes the and one through the contact of Bandego.
That's a tough play from Gasson there, just going up and fighting that contact, getting the basket, and now a chance to make it a three-point play.
Gasson, the game's leading scorer at 10, tied with Dede Thomas, and with this free throw, has a chance to take that possession for himself. Four 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line in his earlier trip. Chance to make that 3 for 3. Can't do it, rolls out. And it looks like we'll get another lane violation, that one on Aziz Bandego. So Gasson will get a second chance at this free throw as Tyler Betsy checks in for Josh Reed. Just a little confusion out there on the court, seems to be fixed now. Gasson at the line. And he can't make the second one either. Ball doesn't lie.
Yeah, not at all. Got two chances at it, missed both of them.
35-32, 13 minutes left in this one to play. Aziz Bandego up top, guarded tightly, has to hand off to Lukosius, fighting through contact. Swing over to Skillings in the corner, thought about the three, had it knocked away, spinning inside, kicks back out to James. Only 5 on the shot clock. James needs to get something. Pull-up jumper from the paint, too strong off the back rim, rebound Kansas State. Hawkins pushing, sidesteps, now retreats all the way back out. Max Jones gets past Bandego and finishes with the left hand off the glass, a sweet touch.
That is tough work there for Max Jones to go up and fight through Bandego. Quite the size difference on those two, but Max Jones making it look easy.
The Bearcats only up by 1 now. Lukosius has it, now Betsy fakes the 3. Hand off Bandego, now back to Betsy, driving in on Jones, kicks out to James, 3 on the shot clock. James working on McDaniel, had it knocked away. McDaniel, bounce pass to a cutting Hawkins, who finishes on the fast break and gives Kansas State the lead.
And things just really have gone downhill quick for Cincinnati, quite literally there, with Hawkins with the cut. Hawkins trying to get a piece of the student section here. Guess he's tired of being heckled.
36-35, Kansas State's on an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes, 4 of their last 4. And meanwhile, Cincinnati hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes and 37 seconds, something Wes Miller will want to talk over in this timeout, as we'll take a short break as well here on Bearcats Sports Radio and return in just a few. Back after the timeout, it'll be Cincinnati basketball as they just lost the lead before that one.
Yeah, definitely a necessary timeout there by Wes Miller. I mean, you really got to talk things out and figure things out here because you're fighting for your life in this game.
11 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Lukosius takes the handoff, now kicks out to James. Down low to Mitchell on the baseline, back out, Betsy for three. Can't knock it down, too short, and that'll bounce out of bounds. Wildcat basketball.
And Betsy's been thinking about taking that shot all night, and he finally does it there.
As we'll get a timeout on the floor, as that's going to be our under 12 media timeout. The previous one was Wes Miller's timeout. So I guess we'll go back to break here on Bearcats Sports Radio and return in just a couple minutes. Back after the quick timeout, Cincinnati gonna have to defend Kansas State, putting on a press again.
Yeah, Cincinnati really going to have to get things together here and get their offense back on track.
They get it to McDaniel, high pass up to C.J. Jones, now back to McDaniel, and they'll slow things down and get their offensive set starting to run. McDaniel gives to Hawkins. Out on the wing, working on Lukosius. Puts the moves off his leg and out of bounds. Student section is letting Coleman Hawkins have it.
Yeah, the crowd beef right now is absurd, but they booed Hawkins there all the way to a turnover.
Hawkins has shown some frustration out there and some dislike for the student section, so they're just giving it back to him. We've hit the 11-minute mark now in Fifth Third Arena. 11 minutes left in the second half, and 11 minutes left in the seniors' Fifth Third Arena careers as James scoops one up off the glass with the left hand.
Yeah, and that one very much needed for Cincinnati. They were 0 for their last 4 from the field. Hadn't scored in 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
That gives the Bearcats back the lead. McDaniel kicks out Hawkins for three. Can't hit it. Rebound Josh Reed.
Crowd again absolutely letting him have it there.
James kicks to Reed. Thought about the three. Now gives back to James. Has the smaller man, McDaniel, on him. Going to his left, step back for three. James came up short, fight for the board. Max Jones comes up with it. Now Kansas State working on their end. CJ Jones driving with the switches to the right hand for the soft floater.
Wow, he went over 2 Bearcats there and his teammate Hassan to find that one.
Another lead change as the Wildcats are back in, up by 1, 38-37. Cincinnati down to 15 on the shot clock already. James getting inside the paint, had it knocked away by Gasson. He's running the fast break all by himself, takes it over Skillings and finishes off the glass.
And Gasson ripped it out of his hands, then took it all the way to the other side of the floor, and with a great finish there and a tough bucket.
40-37, 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Cincinnati just needs to get a bucket here to end this drought. It's a 12-2 run over the last 4 minutes. Inside, Lukosius finishes. A nice pass by Dan Skillings.
Beautiful find there by Skillings. Had Lukosius on the cut and just put the pass right in front of the defender there, and Lukosius with the easy bucket.
Crowd starting to make noise. They need to deny Kansas State a bucket. Doug McDaniel on the wing, guarded by James. Pass to a cutting Max Jones. Step back short jumper. He missed it. Offensive board goes to Gasson. Got Mitchell in the air and finishes the easy one.
Gasson there, you said it, just forces Mitchell to jump. On the way back down, puts it back up himself.
42-39, Cincinnati with the ball. James has it ripped away by Doug McDaniel and then fouls on the way down. Kansas State's bench wants the intentional, and they will slap the intentional foul on Jizzle James.
And James just wanted to stop him from going the other way. I mean, it looked pretty intentional to me, so.
There is going to be like a slight review over there at the scorers table. Now they'll wave it off. Thomas still waiting to check in. So Doug McDaniel has this side of the floor all to himself for the free throw. And he does make the first.
Really quick there on the put up.
That was his first shot at the line of the night, up to 8 points for him. Second one is up and also good. And now we'll stay on this side of the floor as Kansas State gets the ball back. Of course, intentional, 2 free throws and the ball. Max Jones inbounds, gets it into Hausen. He's had a quiet day today. They get it to him, coming off of the screen, guarded tightly by Skillings. Now off, back to McDaniel, over to Hawkins. Tough pass down low to Gasson. He has to save it, just throw it up. Somehow Hawkins was there to receive it. Down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. Doug McDaniel in a tough spot, guarded by Thomas, forces up a tough one. He missed it. Rebound Lukosius. And now they'll slow things down on the Cincinnati end. Skillings gets into his left, reverse, and he's fouled. Takes a hard fall.
Skillings did a somersault there on the baseline. That's good work by him, fighting through that contact, put the shot up. Kind of a wacky shot, but got the foul.
So now Skillings gets shots at the line. He's had 6 points today. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, along with a block in 17 minutes. Filling up the stat sheet as first free throw just rattles out for him. Cincinnati shooting 38% from the free throw line today. Not exactly the mark you want to be at.
Yeah, definitely not, especially in a close game like this. I mean, every point really counts.
Makes the second one, cuts it down to a 4-point lead for Kansas State, 44-40. We are under 8 minutes left in this one. Doug McDaniel working on Thomas. Calls off the screen, now takes the hard one from Hawkins. He loses it. Thomas comes up with it, gives to Reed on the break. Reed lost it, and they're going to call a foul on Max Jones. That's going to be Max Jones's 4th foul. He'll have to sit out some time as we get a timeout here on the floor. Cincinnati trailing 44-40 here in Fifth Third Arena on senior night. We'll take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Return in just a few. Back in Fifth Third Arena, Josh Reed is going to have 2 free throws at the line.
Yeah, and Reed's still looking to get on the scoreboard. Maybe can find it here.
He's played 23 minutes today, the most of anyone on the floor. 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. A rough shooting day. Chance to remedy that at the line, and he can't with the first.
And just overall, a lot of struggles for Reed today. Yeah, sometimes that just happens. You just have a down day.
Reed with the second one, and he
Wow.
just rattles that one in. I thought that was off the left side.
Friendly bounce.
He cuts it down to a 3-point lead for the Wildcats. Coleman Hawkins still facing boos from the crowd. Gives to McDaniel, short floater, bounces in.
And Cincinnati really kind of just losing their composure. Lead up to 5 now for Kansas State.
Josh Reed takes the screen. He's dribbling it around the perimeter. Hands off to Thomas. Gets the matchup on Hausen. Crosses. Steps over to the baseline. Now has it back up in the perimeter. 9 seconds. Rises up for the mid-range jumper, and he buries it. Day Thomas, that's what he does.
Beautiful jumper there, and he had Hausen all over the place. He got in front of him. Hausen was running back to him. And took the chance to take the pull-up open jumper.
Doug McDaniel on the Fifth Third logo. Facing tight pressure by Day Thomas off the screen. Thomas still has that assignment. Tries to bank it off the glass. It just rolls out. Tapped out of bounds. And it will go to Cincinnati, a late call.
Bearcats deficit down to 3, have a chance to tie it up here.
We see James back in the game. Dan Skillings takes a rest. A chance to tie with a 3, although 3 balls have been few and far between today. Just 2 for the Bearcats as Reed throws one off the glass, and a nice floater for him.
Yeah, beautiful shot off the window there. Definitely the shot Cincinnati needed. Got the crowd very much into things.
Kansas State facing noise. Hawkins facing boos. Backing down Dylan Mitchell into the paint. The short floater, one hand, leaves it short. Cincinnati down by 1. Dylan Mitchell running the break. Reed for the corner 3. Just can't get it to fall. The arena would have erupted had he hit that one.
Yeah, that crowd pop would have been insane. Couldn't quite get it.
Back in the same situation, Kansas State leading. McDaniel drives in, swatted by Thomas. Out of bounds and will stay on this side of the floor.
Yeah, beautiful block there by Thomas, jumping up with McDaniel, just getting a hand in there, knocking it away.
.46-45, 5 minutes and 36 seconds left as looks like we're gonna have a review on where this one is gonna go. Was it last touched by Cincinnati? And now they'll call off that review. They'll confirm as Kansas State has the inbound. It's McDaniel, gets it down low. Gasson finishes over James.
That's a great quick inbound play there from Kansas State.
Back up to 3 for Kansas State. James takes a screen from Thomas. Now backs off, double screen Bandego, he's doubled. Thomas inside to a cutting Mitchell, has to throw a tough one up. He's looking to draw the foul. Didn't get the call that he wanted. Now McDaniel working quickly. Gives off to Coleman Hawkins. Swinging all the way around to the other side. McDaniel has it back in his hands. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Down low, Gasson, short floater from the Big 12 logo is good. That'll bring us to a timeout on the floor as Cincinnati is trailing 45-50 in what has not been the second half that Wes Miller has wanted to have.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, this game, we talked about it at the beginning, a very much must win. And Cincinnati looked good for a majority of that first half, and things really have just fallen apart here in the second.
For both teams, and Cincinnati as well especially, just haven't been able to find the 3 ball. 2 of 15 from them, only 3 of 17 for Kansas State. If you do the math, which I'm pretty sure this is correct, that's going to be 5 of 32 for the game from 3.
Wow.
That is just not a good mark.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, three-point shooting has been very much fair and far between.
You're trying to come back from a deficit. The threes are where you normally make that living, but neither team's really able to get them falling. Thomas has both of Cincinnati's made threes on the day. He's still out there on the floor. Lukosius is back into the game, and he'll inbound to James. He'll bring it down the floor, facing just light pressure from Doug McDaniel. Takes a screen from Bandego. Bandego free rolls. They wall off James. He gives the read in the corner, works his way into the paint. Now backs out, gives to Thomas. Day Thomas. Step back from the mid-range. Can't get it to go. Rebound, Doug McDaniel.
That one was so close. It looked good for majority of the shot, but just a little bit too much English on it and banked out.
4 minutes and 10 seconds left in this contest. McDaniel has his Kansas State team up by 5. Gets to the elbow, backs out a long 2, and he sinks it.
Wildcats really having their way now.
Under 4 minutes left in this one. James working on McDaniel, backs him down, throws it up off the glass with the right hand.
Very much needed shot there, but now Cincinnati needs to step up on defense. Kansas State has been able to find every shot they've wanted, and Cincinnati just really needs to stop right now.
The time on the clock is ticking for Cincinnati. Stops and points are paramount. C.J. Jones and Kansas State able to take as much time as they want. You know who has the ball when the boos start raining. It's Coleman Hawkins. Gives off to Doug McDaniel driving. He misses it. Rebound goes to Simas Lukosius. Gives inside to a cutting Bandego. Gets Hawkins in the air. Spins and is blocked.
Well, Cincinnati got the stop they needed, but they couldn't convert on the offensive side of the ball.
Hawkins guarded tightly by Reed on the perimeter. Gets inside, kicks out, and the pass flew into the hands of their head coach, Jerome Tang.
You know, outside of the crosstown shootout, I don't think I've seen a student section have this much beef with a singular player.
They definitely do not like Coleman Hawkins tonight. Of course, if you weren't in the building or listening for the crosstown shootout, Zach Fremantle heard probably the most amount of boos and personal beef from a student section I have ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, that one was aggressive, and I think it was fitting. I mean, he missed that final shot, I'm pretty sure.
He did indeed. Chance to tie it up and had it from the wing, actually right where Kansas State's coaching staff is standing now, and wasn't able to convert. Of course, back at that time, Cincinnati got that win over their rivals, and then their other rivals, Dayton. It was a looking up for the season, and now facing the brink of elimination from the NCAA tournament, down by 5 to Kansas State.
Yeah, hopes were, I mean, really high, I think is an understatement for what people thought of the team at that point. I mean, I feel like I heard people, Cincinnati fans, saying this was a Final Four team, but a lot has changed since then.
It was a ranked team at a point, still 40th in the net, which is a very solid rating. This one would surely drop them and would make it near impossible for an NCAA tournament appearance. They would need basically to win the Big 12 conference tournament, which is very tough, especially when they are 7-11 in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the tallest of tasks, especially considering the road that you might have to take, including most likely playing top 5 team Houston.
And have to get it past most likely Kansas State again in that scenario.
Yep.
Which Kansas State seems to have had their number, one win already, and on the brink of another win over Cincinnati. Of course, when Kansas State came to town last year, it was close to the end of the season. I was also on that call with Chase Yance, and Lukosius hit a game-winning 3 to give the Bearcats the win. There is potential for that to happen again, deja vu.
Yeah, absolutely, and what a storyline that would be on senior night if Lukosius could bury one. But like you said, we're in that range. Obviously, Cincinnati would want more of a demanding win, but you know, all they need is a win.
Coming out of the timeout here, and it will be Cincinnati basketball. Reed will inbound in front of the scorer's table and the visiting radio. Gets it into James. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. Cincinnati trailing by 5. They need to get a bucket on this possession. Day Thomas deep on the wing. Gives Lukosius off the screen. Takes from Bandego. Now gives Bandego. Free throw line. Kicks out. Reed in the corner. Thought about the 3. Working on Hawkins. Gets inside of the paint. Spot up jumper is off the mark.
And again, it's just really hard to get one past that tall frame of Hawkins, especially with the type of night that Reed's been having.
2:20 left now. Doug McDaniel guarded by Thomas. Taking his sweet old time. Gives off to Housen. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Takes a screen from Gasson. Swing pass over. Hawkins in the corner. Fakes. Tough fading jumper looking like Dirk there, and he missed it. Dirk would be unimpressed. James takes a screen from Bandego, gets Jones in the air, now kicks out. Thomas back to James. Putting on the moves, getting inside, rising up and finishing over Jones.
That was exactly what Cincinnati needed. Didn't matter how they got points, all it mattered was that they got points. Now they're within 3.
McDaniel had it poked away from behind off of James, and it will stay Wildcat basketball as that one went out of bounds. And we'll get a timeout here on the floor. Jerome Tang wants to talk some things over with his squad as they lead Cincinnati by 3, 52-49 with 1:39 left to go. Take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio, as there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this one. It'll be a tight finish. You don't want to miss this. Back in Fifth Third Arena, Cincinnati trailing by 3. Their bubble hopes teetering on the edge right now, as Kansas State is putting a scare here in Fifth Third on senior night. They'll have the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati really going to have to step up here. They need to pull this one out if they want to keep their bubble hopes alive, and obviously you don't want your senior night spoiled.
They get it in Doug McDaniel with 1 minute 30 seconds left. Now over to Gasson and Coleman Hawkins. He's been the primary facilitator for him all night. Swing over to Housen, a deep three. Almost misses everything. Cincinnati has the ball. James off the screen almost took the three. Now over to Thomas, working on Housen, gets space. Short mid-range jumper, can't get it to go. Offensive board, Jizzle James. Facing pressure from McDaniel, almost had it knocked away. Now James, step back three. Off the mark, offensive board, Bandego rises up. Had it knocked away. Loose ball goes to Josh Reed. It's chaos out there right now. So we get a timeout call by Wes Miller, as just to save the possession a little bit.
Yeah, what a crazy possession that was. I mean, props to Cincinnati for getting those offensive rebounds, keeping the possession alive. And Bandego down there on the baseline, I thought he was close to stepping out, but my goodness.
Yeah, Reed had it bounce into his hands, and Wes Miller took that opportunity. Just guarantee you have that possession. 54.7 left on the game clock. Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock, so you're drawing up a play for sure to try and get a bucket. If you're the head coach here, Colin, let me pose you with this question. Are you going for the three now, or are you just trying to get any bucket you can?
There's still 54 seconds left on the clock. That's a lot of time. I think you just want to find an open look. Granted, it's tough to work it down low with only 6 seconds, especially trying to find a look on this good K-State defense. But I don't think that you need to force a three, but if the three's there, you can most definitely take it.
Hasn't been many players to go to for a three. Mitchell hasn't attempted one today. Bandego never attempts threes. Reed's 0 for 5, James 0 for 4, and Thomas has the only 2 makes from beyond the arc for the Bearcats today.
Yeah, you got to imagine that's probably who they'll look at if they want to take a three. I think I personally would just try to get a 2, especially with how bad the three-point shooting has been.
Yeah, 2 of 16, 3 of 18 for Kansas State. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's only been 1 made 3 in the second half, and that was Day Thomas at the near beginning.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. I mean, we really haven't seen the three ball come at all.
Walking out of the timeout, as they're going to move up the shot clock to 18 seconds rather than 6. So a big differential to just change out of the timeout. You had 12 seconds of the Bearcats' possession.
Yeah, very much a huge call there. I mean, you have a lot more room to work with now. and you can really find a much better look.
We'll see if they stick to the play that they drew up or take a little bit of more time. It's Lukosius inbounding, gets it into James. Working on C.J. Jones, loses it on the isolation, now gets it back. Getting inside over Hawkins, can't get the finish. Out of bounds, it's Kansas State basketball.
And that is the opposite of how you want your possession to go. James fumbled the ball and then tried to take it to the basket, missed there as well, didn't get a foul, and nobody was there to get the board.
Housen's going to check back in for Kansas State. Cincinnati going to press, trying to force a turnover. They do not have to foul. They get a defensive stop. They'll have 15 seconds left on the clock for a three-point attempt. Kansas State does get it across. Doug McDaniel has it.
Cincinnati can force a stop here and try to attempt a shot to tie the game.
McDaniel back up top. Kansas State just swinging it around. And now Bandego's going to foul. Under 30 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
back up to 20 seconds on the shot clock where they did have 15. Cincinnati fouls again. They still have to give 2 more before they even get to the line.
Yeah, and now that's another fresh 20. K-State could bring it down to 3 if they wanted. I guess Cincinnati's going to foul twice more.
They get it in and fouled again. Only 1 second ticked off that time. Yeah, the initial decision to foul by Bandego, had they not and had they gotten the stop, they would have had about 15, 12 seconds to go down there and get a 3 to tie it up and send to overtime. Now, there's only a 2-second differential. If Kansas State finds a way to tick off 2 seconds and then get the foul, Cincinnati is almost dead in the water.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the thought process was.
Wes Miller heated as we get an off-ball foul before the inbound. Miller's going to get Simas Lukosius back in for Dylan Mitchell.
And Hawson is out there, who is tied for second highest on the team. He did miss one, though, tonight at the line.
Spots up and just bouncing in the first one. It's a 2-possession game now for the Kansas State Wildcats.
And with 22 seconds left now in the game, this is a really difficult position for Cincinnati.
Housen's second is also good, up to a 5-point lead.
And also notably, Wes Miller's out of timeouts. So
Reed gets into the James. They have to work quickly. 19 seconds to get it to Dede Thomas. Over to Lukosius. He'll take a deep 3. Rattles out. Rebound Gasson. Bandego runs the foul, and he will.
And my goodness, everybody inside of Fifth Arena just got up. Clearly the fans not happy, and understandably so.
10 seconds left in this one. Wes Miller calls his team back to the bench. They're going to have a chat over there. Gasson will have an opportunity from the free throw line now.
Can't recall the last time this place emptied out this quickly.
It is near empty here in Fifth Third now.
The lower bowl is almost empty.
That quickly here. An unfortunate end to what was a Cincinnati season with very high hopes in the NCAA tournament. Gasson misses the first. 8 seconds. Reed gets across half court.
Got a
knocked away.
Up.
Reed throws up a deep one. Almost banks it in. Hawkins gets it, launches it towards the student section, and that will do it. Kansas State upsets Cincinnati in their own home, 54-49 on senior night to spoil the seniors' day, to spoil the season, and to pop the bubble.
Yeah, and where do you even begin with Cincinnati's struggles? I mean, didn't really show up in the second half. Didn't play offense in either half. Couldn't play defense in the second half. I couldn't get a three-point look. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for the Bearcats tonight. And Kansas State, you know, you give them credit for taking the win here in fifth third, but they didn't even play that good of basketball. Cincinnati just beat themselves, really.
At the end of the day, they just couldn't find the bottom of the basket. 37% from the field, 11% from three, only 46% from the free throw line, and Kansas State was held to just three-pointers on the day and only 54 points. You just couldn't outscore them.
Yeah, and that's been the story all season. I mean, you can't outscore anybody.
That'll do it for us here in Fifth Third Arena. The final home basketball game of the season on Bearcats Sports Media is upset by Kansas State. Cincinnati's tournament hopes are all but none. That'll do it for us here. My name is Justin Dedrick. I was joined alongside Colin Kunz for a great season on Bearcats Sports Radio. We'll be signing off for the last time. Have a great night, Bearcats fans.